Hello, everyone. My name is Mohammed Hamrawi. I'm a mid student. And I'm here to ask you, how many times have you gotten excited about something new, a new skill, a new project, a new routine, and then stop it before you ever reach your full potential? You know, that feeling when you start the semester motivated, promising yourself, this time I will be consistent, I will study daily, I will be different, but then 2 weeks later, you're back to scrolling, procrastinating, and wondering why it's always the same cycle. It's not because you're lazy, it's because nobody ever taught you how to manage your potential. Let me explain. The people with the highest potential, the dreamers, the ambitious ones, the ones who feel they're meant for more, often end up doing the least. And that's not an assault, it's a warning. Because when you have big dreams, you start living your imagination. You imagine the life you will have, the person you will become, the success you will achieve. You imagine people looking at you differently, respecting you, admiring you. You imagine being that guy, that girl, the one who made it. But here's the problem. Your brain starts rewarding you just for imagining it. You already feel proud, you already feel accomplished, so it's time to do the actual work. The part where no one's watching, it suddenly feels boring. You crave that success feeling again, so you go back to fantasizing, scrolling, or watching another motivational video that gives you the same dopamine hit. But the truth is, every time you do that, you're digging your own hole. You're becoming a dreamer, not a doer. Back in high school, I had all the ambition in the world. I would write plans, goals, routines, all get inspired, motivated, and ready to change my life. But the problem was, I was stuck in the planning phase. I didn't realize that writing goals and watching videos feel like progress, but it wasn't. I thought I was preparing myself, but in reality, I was avoiding the uncomfortable part, the actual work. And that's what most students do. They convince themselves they're being productive, watching productivity videos, buying new notebooks, setting new intentions, but deep down, it's all procrastination, wearing a mask. So, what happens next? They go through school full of potential, full of dreams, and end up burnt out, confused, and empty. They get a job they don't like, telling themselves it's temporary until they figure it out their real passion. But 5 years later, nothing changes because potential without discipline leads nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with having a normal job or taking time to figure things out. But if you know deep down that you're meant for more and you keep postponing your progress until later, you're slowly killing that fire inside you. So, how do you break out of this cycle? And let's talk about solutions. I think that the first step is to stop worshipping the end goal. When you think too much about the final outcome, the process becomes unbearable. You imagine yourself a doctor, an engineer, an entrepreneur, whatever your dream is. But the moment you sit down to study or work on it, your brain says, wait, this isn't fun. This isn't success. This is hard. That's because you've trained your brain to chase feeling of achievement, not the habit itself. So instead, focus on today, not next week, not next year, but today. When you wake up, ask yourself, like, what can I do today to move one step closer? Write a small schedule. Plan your classes, your study time, your gym time, or your rest time. Keep it realistic. Most people overplan and under execute. You don't need a 3 month plan. You just need a today plan, for example, and the discipline to actually follow it. If you can win the day, you will eventually win the year. And the second step is to turn external motivation into internal motivation. We all love motivational videos. The, the speeches, the edits, the background music, and that's fine. That's fine. Like those videos are great to start with. But if you rely on them every single day to take action, you will never move without them. The goal is to make motivation come from within. And you may ask how. When you get inspired by something, you don't just stop at unmotivated. Spend time thinking about it when you're alone. Let's say you watch the video about successful students. Later, when you're lying in bed or walking to class, think about it again. Ask yourself, what are they doing differently? How can I apply that to my own day, for example? That's when your brain starts internalizing the lessons. Motivation slowly turns into identity, and when that happens, you don't need motivation anymore. You just do it because it's who you are. Now, let's move to the third step, which is to redefine what success means as a student. Grades are not the goal. Your goal is to become a capable, disciplined, and independent human being. And if you only study to perform, like for grades or for validation or for your parents, you'll always feel empty. But if you study to build yourself, to learn, to grow, or to evolve, you will stay consistent even when nobody's watching. Every subject, every lecture, and every boring assignment, they all have value if you learn to connect them to your bigger picture. Your chemistry class helps you understand the world better, and your writing class helps you communicate ideas easily. When you see learning as a tool for becoming stronger, not for impressing others, everything will change. And one more thing is to stop comparing your timeline to others. Everyone has their own pace. Some people find success fast, others take time. So, what matters is that you're moving, even if it's slow. Every small effort adds up. Every day you show up is a deposit into your future. Because one day, all those smart and small efforts compound. And when that day comes, people will look at you and say, "Whoa, you're so lucky." But they won't know the nights you spent grinding or like when nobody was watching. They won't know the times you failed and tried again. They will only see the result, and that's okay because the real ones know that success is built quietly. So if you're watching this and the new school year is starting soon, or you're in the middle of your school year and you want to evolve or to make some progress, this is your reminder. Don't chase perfection and chase consistency. Don't chase motivation and build discipline. I know you hear this a lot in your day, but you know, try just to start applying this. And another thing I want you to do is don't chase success, but build yourself. It's deeper than the words composing it. It's very deeper than that, and you will understand it during your journey. Because the truth is, this new chapter of your life is not supposed to be easy, you know. You will fail, you will get tired, you will feel lost, but all of that is part of the process of becoming a stronger person. And one day, when you look back at this moment, you will realize this was the season that made you. So don't wait for someday, start today, and because the student who acts today will become the person everyone admires tomorrow. Don't forget that. Well, and if this message hit you, follow, subscribe, and whatever platform you're on, because this is just the beginning of a whole chapter for all of us. See you on the next video.